Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Fearless and Free TV. Today, I'm talking to James Rink. He is a fascinating individual that I was introduced to about 12 years ago. And today I'm meeting with him for the first time. I've known of him for a long time. He's got a big YouTube show about super soldiers. And today we are talking about the secret space program, the super soldier program, cyborgs, and what they're doing to use, I guess time warp might be a way of putting it, but kidnapping kids and using them in this space program, and then how all that works. Before I bring him in, I do want to remind all of you, if you haven't yet, to jump over to my website and grab your free book, Rise Up. It's all about the Great Awakening and spiritual ascension, what's happening in the world right now. I have another book that I'm almost finished with that's going to be replacing it within the next few weeks, all about what New Earth looks like. So hop over to my website at victoriareynolds.com and grab your free book. And also, I wanted to let you know that my 9-week course, The Transcendence Process, is starting up again in the middle of March. There are still a few spots left, and if you want to take advantage of that, I recommend that you register for that in advance to make sure that you save a spot. This program is all about the process that I used during my own awakening experience in 2008 and how I learned to process my own life so that I could get past all of the guilt and fear and trauma and all the fear-based beliefs that were ingrained in me in my childhood religion, so that I could rise above those beliefs as well into this beautiful love-based reality that we are creating. Of course, you don't have to have come from religion to have all those guilt and shame beliefs that I had, but that happens to be where mine came from. So this Transcendence Process is a 9-week course. I am there with you every step of the way. It includes homework assignments. It includes a copy of the 10-year anniversary of my book, Transcending Fear, a private group where we all get together and mutually support each other once a week. And so jump over to my website and pick that up as well. If you need to break it into 2 payments, I can do that for you. It's only $333, but if you need to break it up into 2 payments, I can do that for you too. Okay, so that's my Transcendence Process. And I have some other projects over there as well. If you want to learn how to work through your money issues, I have a book called Own Your True Worth. That's all about issues of unworthiness. If you're having issues with wondering how to trust your own path, if you have family members that are giving you a hard time about the path that you know is best for you, the book Free Your Spirit might be just for you. And I've also got a money tree program over there if you want to learn how to grow your prosperity. It's about financial freedom from a spiritual freedom perspective and how to grow money in the quantum fields. And I think that's about it for now. So it is time now to bring in James Rink to talk about this amazing stuff I've never heard before. So let's bring him in. So James, it is so nice to meet you today. You don't know this, but I've known of you and about you for about 12 years. I know of you through my very good friend, Deborah Peach. And she gave me one of your first prototypes of your Neolite. I think that's what it's called. Check this out. I don't know if you can see it.
Well, I'm surprised the label isn't peeling off more than it is. Those things, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there it goes.
So I got it too close to my candle one day and it melted one side. And so I decided to do some research on the internet to see if I could find another one. And that's how I found you. I found your website. I didn't even know what it was because the side that has the name of the company on it is actually peeled off.
Well, how did you find out? Did you do like a meditation box?
I typed in meditation cube with triangles or something like that. And I ended up finding you.
Yeah, those were the IDL2 interdimensional layer. It has like 2 different layers, but it had little tiny, those have little tiny copper spikes inside of them. And they were very, it was difficult to assemble because it was so small. So I found that the bigger units are actually easier, not only easier to build, but a little bit cheaper to make. So that's why I stopped selling the little tiny ones. But maybe someday I can mass produce those. I don't know. It gets important. Let me show you what they look like now. And again, the website is neologicaltech.com. This is the Skolum, and the inside. This inside right here has 6 pyramids at the same ratio of pyramids and Cheops. And then I put I used the original Wilhelm Reich formula for orgone inside the pyramids. And then inside the sphere, there's one sphere in the center of these 6 pyramids. So all the pyramids, like point inward inside this cube. And then the sphere over here has different layers of metals, or depending on what uni you get, could have like quartz crystal or whatnot. But we sometimes I usually put lapis and shungite in as well. So that website is neologicaltech.com. You can also go there and get a copy of my book. So depending on what direction you want to take this today, we could either go into the super soldier alignment programs, or we could do the Gesara content, but it's up to you. Or we could do both. But
maybe both. So my audience is very curious about Gesara. Those are conversations that we have all the time about the GCR and Gesara and what's happening with that, why it's taking so long. One of the things I've been teaching my audience is that we need to figure out how to raise our vibration in order for it to manifest. I know there's also a lot of, it's interesting. I was tuning into it this morning in my favorite place to tune in, which happens to be the shower. It's where I get some of my best stuff. And the reason it hasn't manifested, of course, part of it is us.
Yeah, I'm here. I can keep going.
It's okay. Yeah, so the reason it hasn't manifested, part of the reason is us not raising our vibration up to be able to receive it, because it's coded at a higher vibration, but also because there is so much resistance to it that's out there. If there were no resistance to it, we'd have been able to manifest it by now, because there are enough people who have raised their vibration up to be able to receive it. But because I was asking why instant manifestation isn't working as well as it could. Because in our personal lives, we can manifest pretty instantly. But as a collective, there's that resistance to it manifesting on a collective level. So I'd love your take on that.
Yeah. You mean when I went into the AI, that part? Okay. Well, yeah. So let me explain. Magic, as creator beings, we should be able to bring about anything that we desire into reality. The problem is, this dates back to the time of Atlantis. The priest class was given guardianship over humanity, and they were basically, their duties were to learn not only all the secrets, also to be more intelligent, smarter, and to essentially, they were supposed to be above the common person and their abilities and intuition and so on. So what happened was some negative groups got involved in that, and they realized that that if we could just dumb down the population, then we don't have to do as much work to be smarter and better than everybody. So what they actually did is they created this egregor, or what you can call an AI. It's an artificial intelligence, but it's an entity in its own light. And by putting enough conscious intention into an idea or thought form, as a creator being, we can actually manifest a new entity or spirit and bring it into life. So this egregor dumbed down the population, and eventually what happened is that it hijacked our entire reality and our ability to manifest. And then of course, when Atlantis went down, the egregor continued, and it kept people in slumber. So as we're going into reaching these new photonic energies that are coming in from the galactic core, it's causing glitches in the old system, because the old system is about control and domination, and the new system is about bringing people in their own self-mastery and power. So the old matrix is becoming glitchy. And as the glitches continue to occur, meaning that you see people protesting the lockdowns, the mandates, people are resisting, not following the party line by getting the jabberoos. More and more people are seeing how the system is basically just a control matrix, and they are pulling away. And the more people that pull away, the less energy and intent is given into that egregiory. And eventually it just falls apart. It's the same thing with money. A lot of people worship money, even though they may say they don't, but unfortunately, just the way money is set up, people have put so much thought and intention that it actually has become its own entity. And that's why we see magical incantations on the United States federal notes. So, yeah, Federal Reserve notes. But anyhow, I think I answered your question at this point.
Yeah, that's interesting. I hadn't heard it from that perspective. I didn't know about that AI. I tend to see everything from a spiritual perspective and how fear came to the planet and how fear has been used to control people. But I didn't know there was an AI attached to that. And that does make sense that there would be an overarching intelligence, dark intelligence that's using fear as a means of control. And it's interesting we talk about worshiping money, because there is some of that. And human beings don't even realize that they are actually enslaved to it. And it isn't that money is necessarily a bad thing. It's just an exchange of energy, but it's all of the programs that we've been taught around money that keep money out of the hands of the masses and in the hands of the few.
Right. Well, looking into the future, what we're probably going to see some scenario is there probably will be what you know as the RV. And however, when it does happen, there'll be technologies released, such as replicator technologies, free energy, and of course we can talk about maybe teleportation tech and so on, re-aging tech, which will basically make money obsolete. So on one hand, there'll be enormous amounts of abundance coming out. On the other hand, it's almost like moot. It doesn't even matter, because if you have a replicator in your home, why do you even need to go out and buy some gold or buy crypto or anything? So
right.
Yeah. So now, eventually, about going into the future, money's going to still continue around for a while. In about 100 years in the future, it'll fade away, and I have no idea what's going to come after that. But so it's going to be around for a while, and so I think a lot of people shouldn't necessarily get focused so much on how much money they're going to get from the RV or what they're going to do with their financial abundance. Certainly, there will be programs like, for instance, the money is not going to come until